time to wake up, laddie. You're near even 35 and you had me for 2 fully grown dwarves. Wake up, Thorgrim, son of Thor. Rouse! That's it. Bring your head to the level of your shoulders. You look like a 10,000-year-old Fastathicolon emerging from his carapace. Today's the day. Today you'll make me and your mother proud. Today's the journeyman's examination, remember? Today, Mahal willing, he shall become a journeyman, Mithril Smith. Aye, there you go. Get to it. I guess we'll all have at least a tiny bit of craftsman in us, including our womenfolk, which is, as you know, make only up 1/3 of our total population. But to be a mithril smith like your old man, lad, to be a mithril smith. I know our kin are many other professions, though the non-dwarves sometimes think that it's as soon as you say dwarf that you fully understand us, and you don't have to include what we do as if we all were warriors, smiths, brawlers and armourers, all roll into one, with no difference depending on what we've made with our life's mission. That's right. We do have a life mission, lad, and dedicate most of our walking and waking hours to it. And if we're very lucky, we've managed to find a dwarf wife, which is harder even than for men, I'm told. And luckier still that she shares in our passion. We'll be often enough at the anvil working into the wee hours together. I say wee hours, but as most of us live underground, my son, without an opening to the outside world, we most don't know if it's day or night out there. But we do have some different professions of interests. Some of us mine gold, silver, or even mithril, the rarest of rare true silver, that can almost only be found in the mines of what the non-dwarves called Moria, and we who live here call home, or very rarely, because, as you know, we very rarely encounter dwarves from other mansions, and more seldom still non-dwarves from other places. Khazad Doom. There's another reason why we don't often say its name. Khazad Doom is Khuzdul. What they in their common tongue call Dwarvish. And there are very few words in Khuzdul we ever tell the Akazad or non-dwarves. As you know, lad, we don't even inscribe our own true dwarvish names on our tombstones, but instead use our northern names that we also use when talking to the Akazad, and even more among ourselves. Anyway, like I said, some of us are miners, others smiths of every kind, goldsmiths, silversmiths, steelsmiths, ironsmiths, bronzesmiths, coppersmiths, blacksmiths, weaponsmiths, armoursmiths, and even lowly blacksmiths. And then there are the mithril smiths, like you, my son, and I. But we are a rare breed, even among us Longbeards, and we exist only here in Moria, in all of Middle-earth. As for armourers, we have those aplenty, and dwarvish armour is widely considered, even by the elves, to be the best in Arda, even in all the worlds of all the universes. And yes, I've been to other worlds like Toril, Earth, and Kryn. We dwarves don't like weaving mighty spells from sulphur or bat's wings on the fly, but many of our great crafters know a great deal of magic, which we bind to structures and things we fashion, as do I. There is a portal on the deepest level of our family's quarters that will take you nigh on anywhere. 'Tis next to your mother's jars of pickles and those of apple sauce. Dwarves look and are more or less the same across the worlds, and in all the universes, unlike elves, who I am told differ greatly from world to world, since their race is sundering from Arda by portals long ago. We are a fearless people, quick to anger, never forget old grudges or debts of honour, at heart jolly, though to some strangers, akazad, who do not get our sense of humour, we may seem dull and taciturn. We are loyal friends and dangerous enemies, and we do have a love of gold, and sometimes precious stones and other precious metals, which I will admit more than once has led to our demise. But some things they see about us are just plain wrong. We do not hate all elves, even though many of them have oft given us cause to do so. Did ye know that when we first came into Beleriand in Middle-earth in Arda, the Sindar hunted us there for sport, like wild beasts? That is perhaps why we generally prefer the Noldor, the deep elves, which some men call gnomes, and who, like us, share a love for creating things of beauty, like swords and shields, mail and spears, though their axes are often not as sharp. These Noldor love the breath of the bellows, like we do, and they also hold in high regard our maker, the smith, the fashioner, Aule, that god who made us. He goes under many names in many worlds. Moradin and Hephaestus are also his. When our god Aule shaped our 7 forebears, the ancestors of our houses, he cut them out of the raw stone of the earth of his beloved Yavanna, and he made them alike him, and alike what he thought that the children of Ilúvatar, the elves and men, would be. We are not as strong as the elves, but we are hardier and more likely to survive a beating. We do not mind the heat of the forge or the icy cold of the mountain tops, under which we made our homes. So in that respect we're similar to the elves, who can bear the extremes of nature. It is said that elves are wise and we are not, but I would beg to differ, as many an elf king has marched off to war when his blood boiled, just as do our kings and rulers. It may be said that we dwarfs are quick to anger, but we are also quick to share a tankard of ale or a bowl of porridge. Now let me tell you about the 7 houses of the dwarves and their 7 mansions. It is said that Aule, whom we call Mahal, the Maker, and men in latter days of Arda will call Hephaestus, and the Torellians and Earthlings Moradin, fashioned the 7 fathers of our race from the stone of the earth itself. He exists on many worlds, planes, and universes at the same time, and he created the dwarves across many worlds, dimensions, and planes of existence at more or less the same time everywhere he made them. Our brethren on the world of Toril say he did so in his soul forge in the 4th heaven of Mount Celestia, and later planted them deep under the primordial rock of Toril. Here in Arda it happened under the mountains, in Aman, in Valinor, in the land of the Valar. Mahal did so in secret, because he feared the wrath of Ilúvatar, the Allfather, and wanted to make a hardy race for his champions, who could oppose the minions of Morgoth, the Dark Lord. In the early days, these 7 dwarves would not move or work when their mind was not bent by Mahal's, and so their bodies led a sort of half-life. Simultaneously, the Maker, under his other names on Toril, Oirth, and such places, made us, his people, to fight the gods of evil, such as Grumsh, the orc god, or Maglubiet of the goblinoids. The way we look, and our very nature, As I have said in very similar across the worlds, in Arda, Mahal did not manage to keep the existence of our father secret from Ilúvatar, and so Ilúvatar confronted him and asked him why he had made a race to contend with his own children, elves and men. The Maker felt shame at having disobeyed Ilúvatar, and raised his hammer to smite and destroy the 7 fathers. But our fathers cowered in terror and begged to be spared. Ilúvatar had breathed life and sentience into them, and so we are independent from our Maker and even from the All-Father, and can forge our own destinies, even though it is our duty and we are honour-bound to follow the Maker and his words and deeds. Now, because Ilúvatar had determined that his own firstborn, the elves, would precede the dwarves in their country in the entry to this world, he ordained that Mahal should have them sleep under the roots of the world in the mountains of Middle-earth until the firstborn had awakened. These are the 7 houses of the dwarves, each one headed by one of our fathers, but later joined by other dwarves, both men and women, all made by the Maker while the fathers slept. 'Tis said that he made the dwarf fathers of all 7 houses first, and then after they had gone to sleep, awaiting the awakening of the elves, Mahal made their dwarf wives, and placed these beside them, except for that of Durin, who was to wake alone. Each of the fathers founded a dwarven city and stronghold under or near the mountain which he had been laid to sleep by Mahal, and where he was to sleep for thousands of years afore his eventual awakening. The 7 houses or clans are as follows: